Welcome back to Giant TV and Mommy Meltdown. I'm your host once again, Stephanie Mizzi, and today I cannot believe that we're already talking about the end of the school year. I don't know about you, but I am really not that excited about it. Now I got to figure out what to do with my kids all summer. But I know people who are probably excited about it are some of the teachers, and today we're going to talk with 3 women who are involved in the education system. We're talking with a teacher, we're talking with ECE, and we're also talking with an early years consultant, because whether you have kids who are in school and you've always wondered how to have that relationship with your teachers, what do you ask them? How can you get involved in your kids' education? Or perhaps you're just new to the education system and you've got a little 3 or 4-year-old who's going to be starting school and you're thinking, everything's good to go, I've got them registered, but there's a couple of tips and tricks that you want to get them ready for before they start in September. So thanks so much. We hope you can hang around. We're going to have some fun today on Mommy Meltdown. And let me welcome to the show, ladies. So nice to see you all. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming out today. I guess we'll start here and we'll go around the room and introduce everybody. So we have got Jen Smith with us today, and she is a professional with the District School Board of Niagara, early years consultant. I love that title.
Thanks.
So tell me, like, exactly what's an early years consultant?
What do I do? Okay. I actually support all of the educators in the District School Board of Niagara, the kindergarten teachers, as well as the designated early childhood educators. So I do all of the professional development for the school board, and then I go out to classrooms to support the teams with everything from setting up their environment to supporting them with math and literacy development.
And you're teaching the teachers.
It's kind of fun, and I get to work with kids all day long, so it's really fun. Awesome. Yeah, it's a great job.
Well, thank you so much for being here today. We're going to have some interesting discussions on this. I'm glad that you can offer another piece of advice to the equation. We've got Ashley Robins here. Ashley's the mom of twin girls.
Yeah.
And you're just kind of on the cusp of coming into being a parent of kids in the school system.
Yeah.
3-year-olds.
Yes.
That's fun.
Just turned 3. We got one more year.
Girls, right?
2 girls.
2 girls. And an ECE.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I said to Jen, an ECE, like, what does an ECE do? Because it's an early childhood educator.
Yes.
But I wasn't exactly sure what you do in the classroom. So I'm sure if I don't know, most people don't know. So tell me.
Yeah, so ECE is quite often confused with an EA, which is an educational assistant.
Yes.
And they're 2 completely different jobs. So I get this question a lot, like, so what do you do then?
Yeah.
So we bring the learning through play into the classroom.
Okay.
That's what we're trained to do, is to teach kids how to learn all the fundamental skills of school, but while they're playing, as opposed to sitting down and doing math or sitting down and learning how to print. It's more, we use play to teach those skills.
That's interesting. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit. I feel like adults could use like an ECE in their life.
Totally.
And we've got Jen Bussi, and Jen is the mom of 3 as well, twins as well, and has been an educator for 19 plus years, lots of different grades, and most recently, well, how many years with? Not most recently, but probably the most amount of years in kindergarten.
Kindergarten, I think I've been doing 15 years in kindergarten.
Wow, that's
yeah.
a long time. And a little side note, Jen's my sister-in-law, so, you know, a little bit of a connection there today. So once again, ladies, thanks so much. It's interesting because when Jen and I talked about this in the past, initially I thought, well, like, do you really have to get your kids ready to go to school? Because I think that most people come from the same mindset that I do, that when we were kids, our parents literally yanked us from the sandbox and put us into school, right? Everybody sat at a desk. That's not how we start school these days. And as Ashley just mentioned, it's play-based now. So tell me how and maybe when that all changed, that somebody said, you know what, it's not really working that just plopping a kid into a desk. And so now we're going to incorporate the playing aspect of the education piece.
Well, Jen is the best to answer. Well, Jen and I both actually answer this because we've been teaching the same amount of years, actually. I'm just finishing my 19th year as well. 13 of those spent in kindergarten, and prior to that, childcare. So lots of experience with early years learning, and we actually always were play-based, but it just never got the wording and the conversation around what play-based learning meant. But when the full day kindergarten program was introduced in the province in 2010, it was rolled out over a period of 5 years.
Yes.
So that's when it really started to become sort of like a buzzword.
Yeah.
But we've been doing it all along.
Okay.
It was kind of, I think, taken a back seat in terms of language and what we were calling it, and giving it the merit that it deserves. How children learn through play.
And I often, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but in Nova Scotia, remember we didn't have JK and SK.
Mm-hmm.
We just went grade primary. Mm-hmm. And so we were still, 5 and 6 years old going to school, but I remember sitting at a desk at 5 years old. Mm-hmm. I remember that. And so I always laugh when I think nobody has to sit at a desk until they're in grade 1, and I love that. I really wish they could even take that a little bit further. But do you think that the play-based environment maybe is more organized now than it was, perhaps 19 years ago or even 15 years ago? Because, as you say, over the last, how many years now since it's been full-day kindergarten?
So we're going into the 9th year.
9th year.
9th?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my goodness. Mm-hmm. I remember when that was that was a big thing. Everybody was talking
a big
about,
thing.
I was in college when it was the buzz.
Oh, sure.
Was going
Throw
on.
that in there. Now we know who the young one is of the bunch. Yeah.
Okay, Ashley, how did you Do you think it's been beneficial having the full day kindergarten? Maybe Jen's better to answer this.
I think so. Yeah. I like having the ECE with me as well. I like that aspect of the full day.
Yeah.
Just because you can bounce ideas off each other. They come from a different angle with things, which helps. I personally like the full day. I know I've done in the past where I had the half day. Yeah. So you'd have your morning class and your afternoon class. But having them a full day, they're in school double the time. Yeah. So there's a lot to do with them. Not just, a half day. You've got the full day where you can do, different centers, rotate different centers. And then there's the outdoor component, which is really nice to be able to spend time outdoors learning.
Right.
So
that's becoming, is that new? I feel like that's new. I've not really seen outdoor classrooms
here
before.
I think it's always been there. Okay. It's just we have more time to do these things because they're with us more time.
Right.
For a full day as opposed to a half day.
Does your school have the outdoor classroom?
We do. We have an outdoor learning area.
I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
The kids my kids just went to a new school this year, and their school has an outdoor classroom. I was absolutely, I didn't even know they existed.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, you can go outside and learn. That's so cool. Because I think that this is something that I've looked into for a number of years, because I have 2 boys who have ADHD and anxiety, and one learns very well in a classroom. He loves that structure, and the other one's sometimes a bit of a hot mess in that environment. And he would really have benefited from being in an outdoor classroom. And lots of European countries have done that for so many years, where all they do is outdoors. And I always thought that was kind of neat. So it's nice to see that they're incorporating that a little bit.
Well, and in kindergarten we've removed the word recess. Right, so in our kindergarten program document, it only speaks about outdoor learning.
Okay.
So that's a big shift as well.
Yes.
That removing kind of that language around, they just, it's just for them to just go play.
Yeah.
But with our outdoor learning, that not only are they playing, but we're looking for those expectations and those developmental skills through their play. And it just really, I think, shows how important the outdoor learning piece is, plus nature deficit. We know kids aren't getting outdoors as much, so you start to see maybe some more behaviors and different things around regulating kids, and you can have a child who looks very different in a classroom setting to outdoor setting.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It's really nice to look at the benefits for all learners, both
Does
indoor and outdoor.
Make it easier or more? Is that become more work? Because now, are you adding that into your overall evaluation of that kid come, this time of the year when you're filling out report cards?
Well, absolutely. You're always looking for those moments where you can jump in and ask those questions to find out what they're learning. So it just gives you more of an avenue to pursue those questions that you might have. So it's beneficial having them outside and indoors as well, because you can get some assessment done in both areas.
Documentation comes in handy with that too. We always have our iPads on our hands. Sometimes our phones are out. We can't bring the iPad out. We whip our phone it's in a holster. We're in the Wild West. We just whip it out.
That you're a cowboy too. This is cool.
Let me take your picture.
picture.
Take pictures.
Like, tell me what it is. And then there's all these like apps that you can use now where you can take the picture and then you can add text to it and like literally make the note of what they're quote the kid, and it's there and it's saved, so that when it's time to write report cards, it's like, okay, let's just look through all the pictures and see, oh yeah, okay, that fits in this box, and let's just put it there.
I have to tell you, I think that's such an awesome piece of technology to use too. Up until this year, my children's teachers, that I don't recall them using it even as frequently. Maybe it's the frequency of the use of it, but I've noticed it more with our French teachers this year, and I love it.
It's amazing.
It's like a little bit of an eye into the classroom. That's what it's like for me. So if there's any teachers that are watching, I think it's good for them to remember that, to use those pieces of technology, because it's helpful for them and parents.
In our class, the children are documenting their own learning. So they're able to pick up the iPad using an iPad program. And walk over to a structure, let's say they build, and talk about it.
Oh, that's
and
neat.
record.
They take a picture, they record the voice, and then it saves to their portfolio.
And then I can go back and look in the portfolio as to what they've done that day. Maybe I missed it, I'm busy with another student. And they know how to use it. They can use it on their own. It's very easy to use. Very child-friendly. And they just walk over and document their own learning. Then I can go back and approve that evidence to their portfolio.
It's like a little assistant that you can have all day long, right? If you can't say, there's a lot of
classroom robot.
And 25, at least 25 kids in the classroom. I mean, you can't possibly be watching every single thing that they're doing all day long.
A play-based learning classroom is very busy. So when you're working with a small group, or you're, having a conversation with another child, it's the perfect, opportunity for another student to grab that iPad and share their learning, because they know that you're busy with another student. So
let's talk about this for a second, because Jen, you've had lots of people comment on how your classroom looks, and the first time I saw it, I was blown away. I thought I'd like to go to school, because it's nice the way that it's very warm and welcoming. And I think for parents who have no idea, maybe they're watching this and they have little ones going to school this year, and they're going to think of a classroom how they remember a classroom, which is nothing like your classroom looks like. Take us through how at least your classroom will look like, and a lot of classrooms.
Well, when I first started kindergarten, it was very bright. We had, I remember, bright red doors and bright yellow walls, and a lot of pre-made posters up on the wall that were not very meaningful to children, but at the time, that's the way it was. You walked into a classroom, it was very bright and colorful and cheerful, and but after going through some workshops that Jen led, they wanted more of a homey feel, to bring the home into the classroom.
Which makes sense, right? This is their first experience, some of them, for being away from home.
The muted colors, the calm colors, the
earth tones,
and things like that. And then just bringing things from home that just makes it feel homey. So, for example, we have like little blankets and pillows and things in the quiet corner. I brought a rug from home that we weren't using, put it on the ground. It just
softens it.
Yard
sales are our best friend.
Yard sales.
Absolutely. The side of the road.
Anyone watching this, you want to get rid of anything, give us a call.
Baskets.
Baskets are huge. My husband hates going for walks with me because I'm just constantly picking things up from people's cars. I had this big basket.
That's your second job.
He's like, you're not bringing that home. I said, I'm bringing it to my classroom.
That's funny.
Even the things they play with, like pine cones and sticks, like those kinds of things to make structures with. It's like bringing nature into the classroom as well. So that's important. And it's things
that parents don't think about. Right? Listen, my kids pick up literally everything that we go on a walk, and someone's picking up something, and I'm going, how disgusting. Right? Most of the time. Like, very seldomly am I, but I remember in JK or SK, one of the kids was so excited because they found a wasp nest. And I was horrified. You're not taking that home. Oh, no. And the teacher actually said to me, because Matthew or James, one of them, said, told the teacher, and she said, "Oh my gosh, if you can go back and find it, we'd love it."
Bring it.
Yeah. Okay. So we did. We went back and found it, but they were super excited.
And it's something like that when they bring something to the class that starts the learning.
Yes.
You circle it around that. So, if there is something that comes in, like we had bird nests brought into our class.
Yeah.
And then we started learning about what kind of nest do you think this is and what kind of bird. And it just builds from there. So that's the whole idea with that, the learning, the inquiry learning.
Other kind of animals make a nest.
Yeah.
And I like that, though, right? Like, I think that's what is so important about today's podcast, because I think when parents hear, well, you've got to teach your kids before they go to school, your back gets up a little bit. Like, what? I got to teach them. I've just been teaching them for the last, 3 or 4 years. All these other things. I got to teach them more. But it's not necessarily the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s that we want to be teaching them. It's things like, picking up a pine cone and bringing it to school because you might be using it for something. Or what else? What can parents be showing their kids throughout the summer months that are going to prepare them for
I
September?
would say the biggest thing is to put down the iPads and the movies and the inside and get them outside into nature. And just having conversations with them, communicating with them, bringing them to these play groups that they have, the drop-in centers.
The earlier centers are the best. They're free. They don't cost anything. You go there. I mean, you can't leave your kid there, but you go.
Darn.
And we have 5 in our school board as well. So they're in the school already, and the big piece of that is then it gets the families familiar with a school setting and how a school operates, and then they get to know the kindergarten teams, and it just makes that transition a lot smoother. So it's a great opportunity for bringing, and they're open in the summertime. So
that's perfect. So who would you contact to do something?
It's on our board website, but it's also through the region. So there's several around the region run by different providers, but they're all listed, even on Parent Direct. The website Parent Direct, and every early on center would be listed on there. So wherever they're closest to, whichever city, they can look up to see what hours and what clinics they might be offering for parents at that particular site.
Fantastic. We'll put some of the links up after Need the podcast here.
For sure.
It also helps build their social skills as well, because that's a big thing coming into kindergarten.
That's a huge component, right?
You want them to be able to interact with other children in a positive way. So what better way than over the summer putting them into one of these drop-in centers and having them, socialize with other children and teaching them those skills.
Now, what if you have a kid who, say, you haven't gone to the early years centers or some of these programs because they have problems with socializing, or they have maybe some developmental delays that maybe haven't been diagnosed. Nobody's looked at them and told you anything, because a lot of times you have to go to school before somebody can say, oh, by the way, this is what we think is going on. But as a parent, I firmly believe most parents can look at their kid, and from the time they're 1 year, 2 year, 3 years old, knows deep in their heart, even if they're not willing to admit it yet, they know something might not quite be right. Do you think that those parents should bring that to your attention at the first, maybe that first introduction that they come in? Maybe it's through the programs that you offer throughout the summertime, or that's that first day of school. Do you think it's important for them to say, I just kind of noticed this about Johnny, that he struggles a little bit for social stuff, or anything, really?
As a teacher, I would love the heads up.
Yeah.
It would just give me more time to get things in place for that student coming into my classroom. So, if there's welcome to kindergarten evenings at schools that you could, chat with teachers then. We do have the open houses where you could also mention to the teacher if you have concerns. It just gives us, as an educator, some time to put things in place and to... So that the very first day isn't just cold turkey. We kind of have an idea of what we're dealing with.
And because registration for kindergarten is so early, like back January 31st, this past year, or the 30th, it also provides the educator team with some eyes on the family, and could actually even say, here's some other if you're looking for things to do in the summer, here's some other programs that you might want to look into. Going to the library, like some simple things that don't cost any money, are always beneficial, and especially for those children that might have some needs, even more so, get them out in the community, interacting with other friends, making a little play date. It doesn't have to be a large group of children, even one other child for short amounts of time. Just to build,
really good.
Just to build on that oral language piece for for the speaking to receptive and expressive language. Just that they're talking and listening at the same time. So lots and lots of oral language.
I love that. We've got Jennifer Bussi, Jen Smith, and Ashley Robins joining me on Mommy Meltdown today. I am, as a daughter of a teacher and principal, I'm a huge advocate of teachers, and I could not do what you guys do. Jen and I talked about this. I could not zip 25 jackets up or put somebody's boots on or make sure their nose is not. I couldn't do it. I just could not do it. I couldn't stand to keep kids entertained for 6 hours a day or focused.
It goes quick. It really does. Yeah, it sure does.
Yeah. Actually, is debating that a little bit. Actually, right now.
Some days more so than others.
What do you wish parents knew about teachers?
Yeah. We love our jobs. We wouldn't be doing it if we didn't love kids and love doing what we do.
Yeah.
We're never out to get anybody's kids.
I know, right? I feel like teachers are given a bad rap. But you are faced with tough situations sometimes, right?
Even sometimes at night I'm having a hard time falling asleep worrying about things. There are days where I can't sleep because I'm worried about this student or that student so we do bring that home with us, and we do worry about things. Not
kids that are not your
not
own
even
kids.
just our own kids, but other children.
Yeah.
And it doesn't end at the bell.
Yes.
Weekends, nights, I'm not even in a classroom right now, and constantly on the weekend, I might find something at a thrift store or that would be great for so-and-so's classroom, or it doesn't end. It doesn't shut off, and we're very passionate educators, and that's why I think we got into it in the first place, because we love children and we love the community. We love the family aspect of being in a school and getting to know all of the kids from kindergarten through grade 8, if that school goes to grade 8. It's like a little family within a community. So
I love that. I love that. That makes it easier, I think, for parents to look at teachers like they're just you and I, right? Yeah. I mean, you're no higher or lower than we all are.
Yeah.
And we can have those open conversations. So
it's nice to just even have that connection with different families that they want you to teach their next and the next child. Or just myself being in the same school for a number of years. I'm now seeing the children that I taught in kindergarten walk across the stage getting their diplomas, which is nice to see. It's emotional. It is very emotional.
Or some that have now gone on to have their own children, and now they're back.
Yes.
I didn't teach them in kindergarten, though. I taught them in grade 4. But now,
same thing's happening with me. Taught them in grade 3, and now I'm teaching some of their children. So
then, again, you bring it right back to that family piece, that community piece.
And we love when they come back and visit. They've gone off to university, now they've graduated, and they stop back in to see the school, to see the teachers that they remember. And
because there's always one teacher.
There is always.
Right? There's always one teacher. And I say that to my kids' teachers all the time. You want to be that one teacher. Because we all have one. Yeah. If you have more than one, my God, you're lucky. But everybody's got one that they remember, and it doesn't matter how old you get, you remember that one teacher, So before we wrap things up, one big thing a parent can do for their child entering kindergarten, they can do with them throughout the summertime is what we mentioned, coming off electronics. What's another thing that they can do?
Self skills.
Yes, self-help skills.
Independent skills.
Putting on their shoes.
Yes.
Going to the washroom independently, like not needing anybody to wipe them or,
It's such a small thing, right? And as parents, you're just so used to let's hurry up and get going, right?
Yeah.
That's
putting shoes
thing.
on, putting on their own jackets or sweaters, zippers. I mean, zippers are a huge deal. They get it eventually. But like you said, sometimes there's I have 29 kids in my class.
Yeah.
And in the wintertime, it is, by the time we've gotten everybody dressed and ready to go, we're outside for 5 minutes and it's time to come back inside.
Oh my gosh, isn't that true? Yeah.
Even their snack containers, getting them to be able to open and close
Opening and closing things.
It was
Fine,
Ashley who told me, make
practical.
sure that the boys know how to open their containers. That would never have even entered into my mind to make sure they knew how to do that.
Even juice boxes, everything. Just getting them to do that at home before they start so they're familiar with what they're doing.
Even being able to sit in a chair while they're eating. I mean, I know a lot of people just sit on the couch and we ask the kids, what do you do at home when you eat dinner? And I sit on the couch and watch TV.
So
my kids like to go live there.
We have a whole bunch in our class that cannot sit in a chair. I have one little guy that's on the floor with his arm through the back of the chair with his hand up on the table, like getting a snack. What are you doing? Like, what is this? This is not how we use a chair.
Oh, goodness. And or using utensils, using forks and spoons properly.
Oh, yes. I had one using a spoon like this today.
That sounds entertaining, but a lot of work.
Yes.
It's the little things, isn't
and
it?
I think I would add just talking with their children. Talk.
Yeah.
Listen to them. Ask them questions. Don't provide the answers. Give them open-ended materials to play with instead of products that have a set end to it. Okay. So like the pine cones, like that they can just build endlessly and it turns into something different every time they use the material. Playing board games, using dice.
Taking turns.
Looking for math around them, like if you're walking in the mall or looking around your studio here, I see all kinds of letters. So noticing the environment around you, and starting to point those things out to the children as well. Stop signs and things that are just
when you start to look at those things, and those are everyday things for you and
we take them for granted, right?
Yeah, it's important.
A lot of parents think they need to know their letters, their numbers coming in. They need to know, but more importantly, it is the social skills, it is the self-help skills, and it is the communication. Those are the key things that they can be working on, getting them ready for.
Well, that's easy. We can do that. We can do that.
And I think one of the biggest changes with our new program document that came out in 2016 is not so much are the children ready for kindergarten, but is the educator team ready for the child and the children that are coming to them.
Nice.
So really being aware of the students that are coming in. So again, like Jen was saying, at that open house time back in January, it's still not too late to register. So even parents out there that are thinking, oh my gosh, I'm still not sure whether they're ready. You know what? Register them. Have that conversation with the school and to make yourself feel more comfortable about what's ahead of them. So. Just us being ready for them coming.
I love it. Ladies, thank you so much. You educated me today. So
thank you. Thanks for
that's pretty good. No. I appreciate it. We had Jen Bussi on with us, Ashley Robins, and Jennifer Smith as well. Thank you so very much for joining us for another episode of Mommy Meltdown on Giant TV. Remember, you can freak out. You just can't stress out because you had a Mommy Meltdown. Until next time.